Okay, we've got a video here. It's Jordan Peterson talking with Joe Rogan. We're going to get into the audio in a second. Just got to do a bit of a preview. This isn't a hate video. This is comments and criticisms. Both Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson do have some amazing things to share, some life stories, etc. When it comes to fatigue and energy, both these guys run high dosage modafinil, which is a powerful anti-narcolepsy drug. I've used it myself. These guys run high dosages of it. They're running such high dosages, like 200, 300, 400 milligrams a day. I would never even take that myself. Like, that would be like insane. You know, I could take literally a tenth of their dosage and have a profound effect. I don't recommend using stimulants every day because it does create nutrient deficiencies, which we'll get into. Let's get into this video. Listen to some audio, and I'll pause it when I have some comments and criticisms to share. This is uploaded by Be Inspired. They're just using B-roll. It's a very professionally made video, which is cool. But then again, people think, oh, it's professional, it must be true, and that's when people really get offside there. Let's get into it.
All the time.
I'd nap about 2 hours a day, and now I don't nap at all. I can't believe.
But if you look at how tired Joe and Jordan look, their eyes are just like, oh, I'm so tired. Even on stims, they're just like, if you need stims every day, you are nutrient deficient. It's time to eat healthy.
I can wake up in the morning. That's never happened to me in my whole life.
What is fatigue? It's the link.
Every day I wake up, I'm just like, boom, ready to rock. I'd never, ever need a drug, a stimulant to wake up. If you need a stimulant to wake up, you're on the wrong protocol.
Hearing tiredness that's constant. It's an unexplained exhaustion because it happens even when you've spent the day doing nothing. Sometimes you wake up from an 8-hour sleep still feeling tired, or you may notice you're not productive at work or at home. Things might feel overwhelming for you on a day-to-day basis. There are many reasons this might happen. An almost 2-year pandemic could be one cause. Social unrests, the climate crisis, and political turmoil don't help the situation. But beyond that, beyond the bigger picture of world affairs, something is going on a personal level. We are creating exhaustion for ourselves. What do I mean by that? Well, first, let's look at where we come from. Humans have not evolved much from our hunter-gatherer days. We used to be people who traveled in small groups, always on the go, eating and surviving from one day to the next like any other animal. Nobody stayed in one place for too long, and they rarely indulged in feasts.
Because we were around back in the day, weren't we? You know what I mean? We can tell what people did back in the day, really. We can honestly say they never had feasts because we were making YouTube vlogs 10,000 years ago. This is hilarious. Once we claim we know what people ate in terms of volume, etc., it's just hilarious, man. Hilariously inaccurate. Again, it's very professionally made, very, very well done, but talking absolute nonsense.
If they were lucky enough to have a feast, humans would eat everything they could and keep moving because they didn't know when they would get to eat next.
That's not always true. I mean, we're fruit eaters. We'd be living in the fruit forest. Like a koala lives in a eucalypt forest. A shark lives in the ocean. It's full of fish and seals. It was before we started drift netting. Like every animal lives in its food source. As humans, we're fruit eaters by design. And starch. Like with roots and fruits. And sugarcane, grasses. That's our food source. It's what we're designed to have. Our fingers, our taste buds, our endocrine systems, everything all points towards fruits, sugar, starches.
Fast forward to today. Our DNA still believes we're in the savannas, having to eat whatever we can to...
Savannas? What? Who says we're living in savannas, bro? You want to be fighting with tigers and lions? Yeah, sure, man.
Survive. It's why you clean out a tub of ice cream in one go, even when you know it's not good for you.
It's because you need your sugars, bro. And then you get all this fat with it. And then you're blaming the fat. You're blaming the sugar for the fat you now wear because of the fat you just eaten. But you blame the sugar. Like how much cognitive dissonance do we really have to have? And let's get into it.
Your body wants to stock up on food. When the agricultural revolution came about and humans started to settle down, we started eating more than we needed. They're in
Here we go. The orthorexia, calories in, calories out, CICO, aka psycho narrative is coming in. We overeat. You can eat anything you want as long as you eat it in moderation, they say. You're right.
Therein lies the problem. We've gone from eating perhaps once a day when
Perhaps. Exactly. The key word there is perhaps. We're theorizing here. Perhaps.
we could find food to eating 3 meals a day. And some days, it's 3 meals with evening and mid.
I'm having like 5-6 meals a day for the last 20 years. Do I look fat? I eat a super low fat diet. I smash the sugar. I literally drink straight cordial. Like, this is the first ingredient here is fruit juice. Second ingredient is water and then sugar. This is like liquid sugar, basically. There's 300 grams of sugar in this one bottle. So, I wash my cordial down with sugar. I wash my cordial down with water. This video's already got me riled up.
Midnight snacks peppered in. The average American's eating cycle lasts 15 hours, which
And the average American's obese. Not from a 15-hour window, because they're eating so much fats.
means they start eating the moment they wake up, and their last meal is just before bed. And it wouldn't be so bad if we were burning this food regularly, or even eating the right kind of food like our ancestors. Our bodies find our food hard to digest, and it's...
Whoa, what? What? Well, dude, speak for yourself, man. All the fat and protein you're eating, all the animal fat, animal protein, etc., oils and things like that, that's hard to digest, but if you're eating like I'm eating, bro, like, that digests incredible. Like, sipping on my cordial, eating my fruit, digests killer, bro. Rice for dinner, food combining rules, digest killer.
delay in digesting prevents our bodies from deriving the energy from the food. Overeating the kinds of foods we...
Hey, wait. Eating too much, what? Then explain why people get obese and high-fat diets when they eat as much as they want.
do fills up the tank, but provides nothing in return.
This guy's like, what's, you know what I mean? Like, the professionalism is like, wow, this is really professional. But I was like, dude, what are you on about, mate? You know?
The subsequent weight gain has an adverse effect.
You just said it doesn't provide anything in return, that we don't use the energy, we don't get the energy. But now you're saying that we're obese because of too much energy. Bro, which one is it? If you're in court right now, man, as I've learned, you can't be flip-flopping like that. You will get disbanded as a witness pretty quick.
Effect on your quality of life. Being overweight has been linked to sleep disorders like
True, here we go, true.
narcolepsy. Other than that, increased inflammation leads to high blood pressure, diabetes, issues with regulatory functions of the body, and of course, fatigue.
This is all causated by a high-fat diet. Excess fat. This is going to cause all these problems. Excess fat causes insulin resistance. Over 20 grams a day of fat, you're going to be triggering insulin resistance in most people if it's sedentary.
Because inflammation damages organs and tissues throughout the body, it requires energy to repair. Energy that it's not getting. The vicious cycle continues. But shouldn't food in general give us the energy to work? Well, eating lowers something called orexin, which is a neuropeptide that regulates wakefulness and appetite. The more you eat, the lower your orexin goes.
No, it depends what you eat, dude. It depends what you eat. Like, you're trying to say that all food is created equal when it comes to orexin resistance. That's so false. Just eat a meal of what? What's the macros? What's the water content? Well, the water content of food makes a big difference in how it digests and how wakeful you'll feel afterwards. What time of day you ate it. If you skip breakfast and your cortisol is way up because you skip breakfast, and then you have some food and the cortisol drops, and you're I go to sleep now. It's all depends on when you eat, etc. That's why I eat breakfast within 10 minutes of getting up. Just a bit of sugar to get going.
The more exhausted and unmotivated you feel. And there are only about 10 to 20,000 neurons that produce orexin in our brains. Orexin is released throughout the brain to affect certain behaviors. Primarily, this means regulating behavior needed for survival, sleep-wake regulation, mating, and yes, also food intake. But in certain regions of your brain, orexin promotes seeking and taking rewards. Rewards can include alcohol, food, sugar, and nicotine.
What? Food and sugar? What? That's like saying drugs and nicotine. It's like saying, you know what I mean? Like, it's like food and sugar, like they're two separate things. like food, sugar, and nicotine. Like this, they're separate. I mean, two are separate, like nicotine and food and sugar. They're not related in terms of that. But sugar is food. You know, nicotine isn't. So it's like saying drugs and nicotine. Imagine this guy in a live debate. Imagine how I would just absolutely destroy him in a live debate. This is why these people don't do live debates with me. Absolutely pull them apart.
Peptide, in turn, is stimulated by exposure to these substances and creates a positive feedback loop. Basically, the orexin receptor involved in your thrill-seeking behavior is dependent on the part of your brain that is encouraging it. It's like parents encouraging a particular type of behavior. If you get negative feedback after breaking a window, you're unlikely to do it again. But if you get positive feedback for getting good grades, you want to keep doing the thing that made them, and ultimately you, happy.
But if you're not getting any attention at all, your orexin receptors will say, hey, any attention is better than no attention. That's why a lot of kids do bad behaviors, even adults, because they're getting some form of attention. So you're correct there, but also a bit wrong.
This action promotes the abuse of the neuropeptide. So you continue seeking food that will activate that positive.
You know, whenever, like this B-roll is planned. Whenever they're like, yeah, this food is bad, they show a bit of carbohydrate. Where's that big fatty, greasy bar of chocolate, the oily chocolate where you eat it and your skin gets greasy from all the fat in the chocolate, the fat in the ice cream just goes to the back of your neck, your scalp, all greasy, you're like, so itchy, just, you know, like canola oil or beef lard or whatever in the food you're eating, just goes straight to your skin. You can feel it under here, feel greasy after a fatty meal. Don't mention that, do you, bro?
Feedback loop. And as you consume more food than your body needs, you feel tired. A study published in the International Review of Neurobiology proves that orexin neurons promote food-seeking behavior for that positive feedback. But in the time before the neurons are activated to seek food, you see productivity. Your orexin levels are elevated after a 42 to 72 hour fast. If you have a set schedule for eating, your orexin neurons are more active immediately before it's time to eat, meaning you are your most focused and alert. This changes when there is a production of glucose in your body that happens due to food intake. Glucose, at physiological levels, reduces the firing of orexin neurons in a concentration-dependent manner. This means that under physiological conditions, orexin is activated and transcribes the neuropeptide when glucose levels are low, like when you fast or restrict eating, and is inhibited when glucose levels are high.
That's right, because that's your body going, dude, go out and get some carbs. And cortisol goes up as well, all right? So cortisol, also wakefulness drug, that's why a lot of pro cyclists and pro runners and pro swimmers, you know, abuse cortisol because it gives you that pumping. So when you fast, yeah, that is going to increase your cortisol and it's going to affect your orexin levels. So you give that, you know, that, but you basically burn yourself out. That's why Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson, bet this guy as well be inspired. They have these big dark circles under their eyes because they're just running on cortisol plus stimulants, and stimulants raise cortisol as well. And they all fear carbohydrate. They're running from sugar. Literally, you could chase them down the street with a bag of sugar with a spoon eating it. And they'd be like, get away from me, sugar man. Get away from the big bad sugar man. Literally, they'd be running from the sugar man.
Now, this doesn't mean you have to stop eating or drastically reduce your portions because that can cause your body to crash. What you need to do is eat the right foods so your orexin levels remain relatively high, keeping you alert.
And your cortisol levels. And that's why people burn out and blow out. Look at this guy here, right? So we got a person of African descent, you know, maybe from Nigeria, maybe from Miami. But look at him, drinking that sugar juice, eating the sugar apple. And this person, you know, in Africa or Asia or India, where they're slim and lean on their natural diet, which is very, very high carbohydrate and very, very low fat and pretty low protein. They eat animal products, maybe an egg a day or a little bit of fish soup, but it's not a high volume of fat. It's not a high volume of protein. It's a high volume of sugar, fruit, and starches. And a high carb, low fat diet gives you low fat long term.
Alert and fresh instead of tired and groggy. For that, you need to cut out, or at least reduce, foods that convert into glucose in your...
Woo! Oh my God! The worst information. I've trained thousands of people the last 25 years. 1996, 26 years now. Been a personal trainer. Every single person that comes to me with clinical depression, they simply all do not get enough sugar. That's the foundation. When you don't get enough sugar, you can't sleep properly because your serotonin's too low, your melatonin, all those things, your dopamine, etc., out of balance, out of whack. Primarily serotonin's too low. You can't sleep, you're up at night, high cortisol because you fear sugar. So this dude, Be Inspired, should change his name to Be Fatigued, or How to Be More Fatigued, how to be uninspired. Because when you cut your glucose, you cut your carbs, you cut your motivation. This guy's thinking, well, if you skip a meal of carbohydrate, your orexin levels will be high, your cortisol's high. That's a good thing because now I've got more energy. But that's how you burn out, man. That's why all of you low-carb people out there are just so depressed compared to your high-carb, low-fat twin self, all right? It's crazy, man. It's sad. It's sad. It frustrates me that these people put this misinformation. It's so dangerous. The brain runs on sugar. You need serotonin, a lot of serotonin. I should say you need enough serotonin to feel good. You need enough dopamine. Oh, but sugar causes dopamine, and like cocaine causes dopamine. So does sex. So does you looking after your freaking niece or nephew and taking them to soccer or taking them for a bike ride. Or so does saving a kitten or saving a fish from a net or whatever. Or so helping someone out. That increases dopamine as well. You know what I mean? Like, so should we ban those things as well? Like, I mean, cocaine, you don't need cocaine. It's a drug, right? It's like your modafinil, etc. You think Joe Rogan doesn't do cocaine and Jordan Peterson? Well, mate, Jordan Peterson maybe not, but Joe Rogan. Bit of Escobar gold, But it's crazy. And I bet this Be Inspired person every day running that modafinil or Adderall, etc. Just saying.
Your body. The biggest culprit here? Carbs. Here we go.
I don't need modafinil to do videos like this because I just open my eyes and go, damn, this misinformation's got me all triggered. Got a picture here of fries fried in fats. The fats you eat is the fats you wear. God, look at the, I mean, this is how uneducated this person is. Be Inspired is how be uneducated. That's how uneducated they are. They're using a picture of potato smothered in fats. Most of the calories in these fries here a lot of them would come from fats. But a kilo of potato, just a kilo of steamed potato, how much fat's in that? Maybe half a gram. How much fat in a kilo of fries? Depends how much oil they're cooked in. If it's beef fat, canola fat, avocado fat, olive fat, the fat you eat is the fat you wear.
There's something wrong with the way we're eating. And what's wrong is that we're eating way too many carbohydrates.
Oh my God. He just said, look at this guy. Look at this. This is Jordan Peterson's grandpa here right now. Look at that freeze frame of fatigue, man. You know what I mean? Jordan Peterson, in his own admission, addicted to prescription drugs, addicted to prescription stimulants, addicted to prescription painkillers and depressive drugs, etc. All right? Does it have anything to do with his fear of sugar? Does throwing an elephant off the Empire State Building and crushing people, did that have anything to do with the freaking elephant's weight? I'm not a physicist. I'm not sure. If you throw an elephant off the Empire State Building, like a big full-grown African bull elephant, 20 tons of elephant meat, and you throw it off there, hypothetical, we wouldn't do it because animal cruelty and all, Would it have anything to do with the elephant's weight that crushed people? I'm not a physicist. I don't know. Far out. This is how basic people are. I don't know. It's just fruit. I don't know.
Carbohydrates are basically poisonous.
Well, I don't need to do drugs, kids. You know, I don't need to get wasted because I just watched Jordan Peterson anti-carb Joe Rogan videos and be inspired, be fatigued. Did he just say carbohydrates are poisonous? Let's do a replay of that one. That's gonna be my ringtone.
Carbohydrates are basically poisonous.
Oh my God. So sugar that feeds the brain is now all of a sudden poison. It's poison in your blood. So you just scratch it out. Oh, I got sugar in my brain. Oh, I got sugar in my veins. Get it out, get it out. Imagine if I'm running around the street now out there in front of this apartment block. I got sugar in my veins. I got to go to the hospital. Poison. I got to eat poison. Someone put sugar in my food. Carbohydrates are poison, says Jordan Peterson. I'm going to spend a few days in the mental rehab. And maybe if Jordan Peterson's admitted at the same time, we can do a podcast together. We can do a collab. JP boy.
When carbs are digested, they turn into sugar, which fuels your body. After eating...
Hey, which fuels your body? I thought it poisons your body. Look at this. They got bread here. Look at how much butter's on here. How much fat, how much belly fat do you want to put on your bread? Look at that. Oh, it's low cholesterol, anti-cholesterol, olive oil, or it's pure butter. It's fat, man. It's fat. So you're spreading that on your bread, and that fat's going to spread on your belly. And that's okay. If you're getting too lean, your abs are popping too much, cut the fat back, for sure. Cut the fat back. Add the fat in. If you're getting too lean, add the fat in. You know, if you're getting too fat, cut the fat back. The fat we eat is the fat we wear. Whether it's organic, cold pressed, whatever. The fat you eat is the fat you wear. So using an example of fat here on carbohydrate bread, it's just idiocy, isn't it? It's idiocy. It's like smothering mud on your frick. It's like putting dog shit on your carpet and going, this carpet really stinks. It's because carpet stinks. No, it's the dog shit you just smudged into the carpet piles, bro. And no, they're not the carbs that make you fat. It's the fat you smudge into your carbs, bro. The fat you eat is the fat you wear. Far out, man. How these people don't make the connection is beyond me.
Carbs, your blood sugar goes up, and the body releases insulin, which moves the sugar into your cells to be stored and used as energy. And after some time, your blood sugar goes back down. If you eat a carb your body can't handle, your insulin production will increase, causing more hunger, anxiety.
Someone, please, let's do a live stream with this guy. I'm having chest palpitations. Let's calm down. Oh my God! If you eat a carb, your body. If you eat that sentence, if you eat a carb you can't handle, it's like saying if you smudge a dog dung in your carpet that your carpet can't handle. Like, what? You know? How do I even respond to that one? This guy doesn't even know how insulin resistance works. This guy's absolutely clueless, man. Insulin resistance is only caused by excess fat intake. The fat coats the insulin receptor site, basically blocking sugar and insulin trying to get into the cell. So the body needs more insulin to try and get in there. That drives up fasting insulin, which makes people gain more weight because insulin is anabolic.
Anxiety, and yes, fatigue. This also causes stress to the body. And in response to that stress, your body releases cortisol. Cortisol removes the sugar from your cells and puts it back into your blood, which raises your blood sugar. If this happens maybe once in a while, it's no problem.
This guy is an absolute noob. All right, we're going to be nice here. Absolute noob when it comes to health and metabolism. Google up the actual research data. Sugar lowers cortisol, okay? Sugar lowers cortisol. That's why if you're feeling really anxious and your cortisol's up, you chug down like a third or half or even a whole bottle of cordial, your cortisol just goes right down. You're just like, oh, what was I worried about? Do it.
But when it becomes a regular occurrence, 2 to 3 times a day, your body releases cortisol many times a day.
The body's got cortisol constantly with insulin resistance. It does. And with absence of carbohydrate.
This chronic release of a stress hormone causes fatigue. Nearly half the foods we eat come from carbs. This includes both refined...
Half? Where's the other half coming from? That's right. Fat and protein. 95%, let's be more accurate. 90% of your calories should come from carbohydrate. 5% fat, 5% protein, if we're going to talk about percentages there, okay? 50% of the calories from carbs. That's way too much fat. That's guaranteed insulin resistance. This guy's basically spelling it out, what we're doing wrong. We're not eating enough carbohydrate.
Refined and unrefined carbohydrates. Unrefined include fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. But refined carbs include white sugar, fruit juices, and flour.
There's absolutely no difference. They're 4 calories per gram. All right? Look at the glycemic index of brown rice. Look at the glycemic index of a potato, baked potato. Then look at the glycemic index of white refined sugar. You know? White refined sugar is around 65. Brown rice around 60. You know, baked potato, 100. Depends on the variety. So this is just why I laugh when people say, whole foods is like car. You know? That's just like, that's like saying, you know, if the dog does the whole shit on your carpet, that's okay. But if it does a few specks, a few little nuggets, that's not okay. It's still dog shit. It's still sugar, man. Okay? Sugar's good. Dog shit in the carpet, good in the garden, not on your freaking carpet.
Most of the carbs we eat today, of course, are refined.
Which doesn't mean anything. Look, dude, I'm drinking cordial, man. Watching your video. I've been living on refined sugars the last 20 years. And I train less than any other person I know who's as fit as me and lean as me. Every time I go to the gym, I'm one of the leanest guy there, if not at all. If not ever. You know? That week, that day. And my diet's refined carbohydrate. Please explain. Please explain why I don't run on stimulants. Please explain why I don't have bags under my eyes. Please explain why I'm so lean. I'm age 44. You burn through sugar so quick, man. So quick. When you're living with passion, just shredding through this sugar so quickly. Just fast burning. Powerful. Sleep good. Strong erections. Sharp thinking. Things are good.
Cakes, brioche bread loaves. A majority of what we eat come in packets. Our ancestors certainly...
Look at this. Potato chips full of fat. Potato chips, macros, you know, fat-wise, 20 to 30 grams of fat per 100 grams. I can easily, if I was going to eat potato chips, easily eat a 400 gram bag. That's like 80 grams of fat there. And you'll feel this grease on your shoulders like within 10 minutes. You feel the grease on your back. Unless you're eating fat all the time, you won't feel the grease because that's your default setting. You're just greasy. But do that. Do under 10 grams of fat for a week and then add in fat. You feel the grease on your skin. You're oh, that's why I got pimples. All that oil, all that fat coming to my skin. Fat raises up. Scalp can cause balding in some people, pimples in some people, but it causes greasy skin in everyone.
Like this. They likely got only 30% of their calories from unrefined carbs, while the average American gets 50% of their calories from any carbohydrate.
Look at the grease and look at the oil in that, man. Look how greasy that looks. Just oil. Yeah? If you want to get at least 90% of your calories from carbohydrate, fruit, refined sugars, flours, etc. If you want to be as lean as me, which is not a lot of people don't want to be as lean as me. They find me too lean. That's okay. I get it.
Hydrates. That's 20% more than our genetic ancestors.
Oh my God, bro, you do not know. I mean, that's debatable as well. That's debatable. Some people say we did a keto diet back in the day. Some people say we did high carb back in the day. Go with what's today, bro. You don't live like your ancestors. You make money online like I do. Like, you use a light and technology like I do. Stop, using the ancestors as a yardstick so they can cherry pick your keto agenda,
And from sources that are not nearly as clean or healthy as theirs. Now, it doesn't imply that...
Look at that big block of fat. The elephant in the room. The white elephant, that yellowy grease, that big block of fat. Look at those fat, chubby fingers, man. Look at how much butter, look how much fat is on that bread. That is so much fat, man. The fat you eat is the fat you wear. If you want to be fat, that's okay. Well, it's not okay for your heart, etc. But I'm just saying, it doesn't make you a bad person, but think about your health. But if you want to cut the fat, man, off of your body, cut the fat out of your diet. And you'll be as lean as me in due time.
That if you eat carbs, you'll be sleepy all the time. Bodybuilders, for example, load up on carbs, but you wouldn't peg them as sluggish or tired.
Steroids. This guy's definitely on steroids. Pretty like Primo Bowling testosterone pop, looking good.
That's primarily because they eat a lot of protein.
Every person you view, this guy's on steroids as well. He's on steroids, durianrider. That body's perfectly attainable naturally, says the 14-year-old virgin who's never touched steroids and typing from his mum's basement. You know, there's people out there.
Protein, it turns out, has the...
Most bodybuilders are freaking fat, man. You go to the gym as well. You know, you got the picture here is where these guys are cutting down, starving themselves down, up on the dose to preserve muscle mass. This guy's so uneducated. He's never used steroids. You know, he's never trained people, you know, who've gotten high-level results. This guy's absolutely clueless, man. Bro, I'll give it to you. You are an incredible editor, and that's what you should stick with. But giving nutritional advice, you got no authority there, bro.
The opposite effect of carbs, in that it increases the orexin levels in your brain. What's more,
Then how come all those keto people protein people are smashing, and the fat smashing in the modafinil and stimulants like every day? Pre-workout powders at the gym every day. On top of modafinil, taking pre-workout powders to go train. I never ever use a pre-workout powder in the gym. I don't need it. Like going to the gym, I don't need drugs to freaking train, like stimulants to train. It's hilarious, man.
Scientists at the University of Cambridge have found that amino acids, which are common in proteins like egg whites...
Just gonna say, if you need stimulants to train at the gym, you need more sleep, all right? Steroids, okay, that's another question. Muscle mass, yeah, get it. But stimulants, man, like you don't just use music. Use music, so then after the gym you can chill and relax. I do not recommend using any stimulants in the gym. You know, like it's just yeah. Use music, use the vibe, use the don't use stimulants.
Actually subdue the damaging effect of glucose on your orexin receptors. So if you can include protein with your carbs, you shouldn't feel as exhausted anymore.
Yeah, bro. Matt, who's going to win in a running race, or who's going to be able to stay up longer, me or this guy? You know, take away the stimulants. I'm going to absolutely cream this dude, man. I'm a high carb, low fat, low protein diet.
Along with portion control and eating the right food.
And you still got to do portion control now. So you got to restrict your diet further down, and you got to eat less. Wow, that sounds really sustainable, really logical.
Food timing also plays a vital role. Eating within 60 minutes of going to sleep has a detrimental effect on your sleep.
Disagree with that one. Depends what you eat, bro. Depends what you eat. Eat chocolate with theobromine cacao, yeah, it's going to disrupt your sleep. I disagree with that one, man.
Because your body is still working on digesting your food and converting it to energy. Get an appropriate amount of physical activity in too.
Look how slow this guy's going. You know, this guy's probably doing a keto. Look, he's running like a 9-minute mile. You know, hey, better than anyone on the couch though. Better than anyone on the couch. Just saying. The average American, the average Australian who eats their high-fat diet, high-protein diet, has very, 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 very poor fitness. It's very sad to see.
It can be low impact, like walking for 30 minutes a day. Or going...
But let's be honest, you ain't doing anything high impact, high energy if you're doing keto diet and freaking starving yourself. You ain't doing... And I mean, you ain't doing anything intense. And your definition of intensity would be a light recovery day for me.
For a swim. You don't necessarily need to lift weights or run if you don't want to. It might be challenging, especially if you struggle with fatigue and body weight. Even a moderate amount of walking will work wonders, and you will see a difference in your overall mental health and energy levels. Just be sure you take...
All these overweight people he's using and slow people, all of them, I would bet money on it, every single one of them, they think carbohydrates are bad. And if you want to lose fat, you got to cut carbohydrates. And healthy fats, where do they go? I don't know. They make your brain bigger, don't they? Healthy fats, go to healthy fat restores on your body. So if you want healthy fat stores on your hips, your thighs, your chin, your cheeks, your little bingo arms, then eat more fats, healthy fats.
Take medical advice before starting any diets or exercise routines. Given your usual physical activity, energy levels, weight, and fatigue, you may need to start slow.
That's the best advice of the whole video. Definitely start slow. Increase your volume maybe 10% per week.
And take the help of a trainer before you can go it alone.
Many trainers have just got bad advice, man, especially when it comes to nutrition.
But as you keep going, you will find that it gets easier. The results will be small at first, but they will compound over time if you remain consistent. If you found this video helpful, you can stay motivated with our content. Subscribe to the channel for more and hit the bell icon to be notified every time we upload a video. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, and let's totally destroy. Yeah, this is how people get hypothyroidism and TSH goes up because they're cutting their carbs out, man. I think this guy's actually legit. Look at this fat here. Look at this fat here, man. Just pulling apart this video. Absolute junk. Very disjointed video. Basically a video promoting eating disorders. This is an eating disorder promoting video. Cut your carbohydrates. Sugar is poison. Eat less. Move more. And don't eat, have a big window of not eating. So that's clinical disordered eating, which will stem into eating disorder if done long enough. In the meantime, you get people on the roads. They can't focus. Their cortisol's really high, and they're just like scattered brains. And I'm so hungry. Oh, kids, shut up. Blah, blah. They're just like sad, man. Absolutely sad. This dude, sincerely wrong. I don't think this person maliciously put this video out to make people's lives hard. I believe this person generally believes this information to be true, which it's not. I mean, it's true, and if you want to have more fatigue, yeah. And it's true if you want to be addicted to modafinil, etc., like Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson, and be admitted to psychiatric wards and addiction centers like Jordan Peterson, etc. But yeah, cutting carbs, man. If you want more information, visit durianrider.com, grab my ebooks. If you want to get lean, feel mean, but good, and not have to restrict yourself, you're tired of eating disorders, tired of disorder eating, you want to have that freedom and enjoy pizza and pasta and fruits. Oh my God, fruit, rice. The good things in life, man. The bread, fresh bread, man. Oil-free, fresh bread in bed with some jam at night, whatever. It's just like, bam, That's what it's about. That's what it's about. If you want to have good, rock-solid serotonin levels, man, where you're just like an optimist in life, better hormone balancing, go to durianrider.com, grab my ebooks, and go from there. And just ditch all this orthorexic nonsense, man. You'll waste so much of your lifetime in that orthorexic bubble. You get dark circles under your eyes, you miss out on things, you might have crashes on your bike or running or in your car, or bad relationship issues, can't get out of things that you want to get out of because you don't have the energy, and you're just like, I'm so overwhelmed, the cortisol is so high, and it's like that. That's what the system wants. The system wants you trapped. So you'll end up fighting yourself and fighting your spouse or whoever, because you got all these issues going on, because you primarily fear sugar. Fearing sugar is the root of most people's problems, because that's what you need to have sugar for serotonin, man. You're crazy, man. You're crazy. You're crazy to think otherwise, and you will be crazy. You live a crazy bad life.